So, when it comes to the government, they love to take your money. Because there's the taxes that you do see, but there's also the taxes that you don't. Because I've just found this on the government website, and honestly, this is information that everybody needs to know. Because you can see here, we've got the average UK pump prices, and we've got unleaded petrol at 136p, and diesel at 142. But if you have a look down here, for example, you've got ULSP, which you can see there is unleaded petrol. So let me put that in green. In fact, let me do the whole thing in green. There you go. So like I said, if we just take unleaded, for example, it's pretty much the same when it comes to diesel. Because you can see at the pump, you're getting charged at 136 pence per litre. Whereas it says here, the price excluding duty and tax is 60p a litre. So that's what it should be. Like, that's what the shop's charging you. Like when you go to a shop and you just do that normal transaction. That's what the price should be. But we're paying almost 53 pence in duty, which is basically just another form of tax. And we're also paying 20% VAT. So you've got duty, which like I said, is tax. And then we've got value-added tax as well. Like, it's just like they can swivel. Like, that's it. They can just swivel. And the VAT works out to 22 pence. I've just worked that out. That's just over 75 pence per litre. So we're paying 60 pence per litre just for the petrol. But we're paying 75. In fact, let me write that one down there. But like I said, we're paying 75 pence in tax. So we're actually paying more in tax than we are for the petrol itself. It's just backwards, isn't it? Like, for example, you'll have I'm not going to stick up for the oil companies here. I'm not going to start sticking up for them. But you must admit, you'll always hear the government. They'll always talk about the greedy oil companies. And they'll say that they need to do more to lower the prices. When it comes to the actual transaction at the pump, the government are making more money off of that transaction than the oil. Like, they've gone through the whole process. It's a tough process of turning it into petrol. I'm sure there's a couple of companies in the chain, but the amount of effort that they've gone through, transporting it all over the UK, having to store it in massive tanks, possibly even refining it and processing it. And like the government is just going to sit there and take the bulk of the transaction. Like I said, I'm not sticking up for the oil companies here. They can fight their own fight. But I just don't think that the government should be making most of the profit. Like, you imagine that 60p a litre? I'd probably just leave my car on 24. I wouldn't. Someone would nick it, wouldn't they? That's the only reason I wouldn't. But at 60p a litre, it's basically nothing. But does that make sense? Just the way that the government are making more money off of this transaction than the people who went to all of that effort and energy. Like I said, it's just backwards. But whilst the government sit there and rob me and you at the petrol pump, I gotta tell you, judging by this next video that you're gonna see, I think it's a lot worse for Tesco. And as always, thank you for becoming one of the 58,640 subscribers.
This country has gone crazy.